Welcome to another episode of the Social Roundtable. I hope that you guys are ready for another interesting conversation that we are going to have. And I have a question for you all. Are you ready to go full time as a content creator? 'Cause I know you may be tired of working a 9 to 5 and then switching to the 5 to 9 to hustle on that side job as well. But what we're going to do today is talk about, are you ready for that potential jump to becoming full time? Today's topic: here's how to go full time as a content creator. So let's get into it today on the latest episode of the Social Roundtable and help you step your gram up. Welcome. As you can see on the screen right now, we have our guest and my co-host. For those that don't know, you're just now joining us. I am Hassan of Social Varsity, a social media agency that specializes in chat marketing and more to help you work smarter and not harder. And that's by utilizing DM automation and more. And I am joined by my co-host today, Megan. Megan, how are you doing?
Yes, hello, hello. I'm so grateful everybody is here with us today. My name is Megan Harriman from Social Media with Meg, and I'm your go to Instagram expert and content creator coach, helping you make content creation and growing your platform stress free and remove the overwhelm so you can have fun growing and monetizing your platform. And today we are very excited because we have an incredible guest, Kristen, who is a leader in this space of content creation, monetization, and really taking your social media to that next level. So, Kristen, thank you for being here. Could you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Of course, yeah. Thank you guys so much for having me. I always love joining in on these conversations. I got my start in 2018 as a content creator and eventually found that I was able to start monetizing. There wasn't really a guidebook at that point, so I kind of was just figuring it out somehow on my own until in 2020 I started as a coach when I was just kind of getting bombarded with the same questions from a lot of aspiring creators. That is when I started my company Social Mate in 2020, and we started a podcast the next year, our membership the year after that. And we've been kind of just steady helping creators build their platforms and build actual careers off of their social media since then.
Awesome, awesome. Well,
Well, we
thank
are
you.
so glad. Sorry, go ahead, Megan.
No, it's just I know you were loading up there on the screen. I'm not sure if it's showing on your end.
Oh,
Totally
I've got the
something.
loading
I was trying to show, I was actually trying to show Kristen's IG page at the time. For those of you guys that are not following her just yet, please make sure that you do. She is on Instagram by KBOUSQ. Am I correct?
Yep.
I'm pronouncing it that way. All right. All right. So please make sure you follow her. If you are looking for our links for myself, Kristen, and Megan as well, you can go ahead and look in the description of this YouTube video. You'll find all of our links where you can follow us, as well as our amazing, incredible moderator who you would find in the live chat right now. We have IG Live with Angela joining us. She is in charge of what goes on in the live chat. So please be cordial, be positive, be nice. She has all power and authority to rule with an iron fist. So make sure we are keeping the vibes all good in the live chat. But we are looking to have you guys have a lively live chat. So if you have any questions, comments, anything you guys would like to kind of just get off your chest, please go ahead and go ahead in the live chat. We'll be trying to respond to a few of you. I see Laura James is in there as well, joining us today on the live. Thank you very much for joining us. Like I said, we're going to be talking today about our main topic. Here's how to go full time as a content creator. And just to kind of give you guys an idea of how this is going to be formatted, I have a couple of questions that I'm going to be asking Kristen, as well as Megan also, and I'll share a little bit myself. But we are going to be taking questions at the end of our conversation. So if you have any questions, please save them for then. I will let you guys know when it is the proper time to put in those questions in the live chat. And in between then, we will have a little game, a little live game that you guys can take part in that Megan is going to lead, a little trivia. Kristen is no stranger to our games here on our the Social Roundtable episodes. So we are definitely going to have some fun with that as we get into our main topic today, ladies. Are you all ready for our conversation on this important topic that I think speaks to the heart and mind of it? Most people that are on social media nowadays.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, so
Excited.
ready.
Awesome. Well, I got a question. I'm going to lead off with you first, Kristen, as our special guest of honor. Um, something that I want to read off this stat because I think it's really important. It kind of sets the tone for exactly what we're speaking about here today in regards to becoming a full-time content creator. According to explodingtopics.com, there are over 200 million content creators in the world. But based on a survey that ConvertKit had, they discovered 46.7% of those are not, or I should say, are only full time. That means more than half are only part time content creators. So,
Mhm.
with that being said, Kristen, I want to kind of ask you, how can creators determine the right time to go full time as a content creator?
Yeah, I think there is a logistical answer, and then there's more of like a mental, spiritual type answer here. I think first, logistically, obviously, you need to be able to pay your bills and live comfortably, right? So, first things first is you should be looking at what are you making every single month, and is that sustainable for you to actually live off of? And there's other things to consider even within that. For example, many of us know what we're taking home, or what we're getting paid isn't always what we're taking home, right? So we have to consider things like taxes, and especially as someone who's self-employed, that works very differently from a typical W-2 job. We're very likely never getting money back. It's usually always that we are paying money in. So after you take out your expenses and your taxes and all of that, what do you have left? And is that what you can actually live off of comfortably? And I do think there's also the concept of maybe that's what it is right now, but is it always going to be that way? Like, are you able to sustainably create that income consistently? So I would be looking at things like, do you have multiple streams of income that you can kind of depend on? If one of them is really slow one month, can you still lean on the other? There were the dogs, guys. I knew it was gonna happen. I'm telling you, they're too
It's
quiet
all good.
before. Yeah, so you want to be looking at things like those multiple streams of income. We all know that if we're depending on brand partnerships, very often there are months where it's absolute crickets, and so you're like, how am I going to pay my bills this month? I think it's also really important to consider the kind of personal brand that you've built as well. So like, can you branch off of doing just brand partnerships and build digital products and services, or have events, or do affiliate marketing or things like that that are again going to be multiple streams of income for you to lean on? I don't think I know any creators who do this full time that only depend on brand partnerships.
I would hope not. I think that might be a real injustice to themselves as,
Yeah,
just limiting their potential
that
in
too.
regards to that.
Hmm.
Well, I definitely appreciate that answer. I think that not a lot of people realize that you can use multiple income. As I always say, diversify your income, and that definitely stands. I think that's double down on Instagram. Not Instagram, on social media in general, especially when you do start to consider other platforms because you can't always monetize the same way from one platform to another. Um, I want to go to you, Megan, in regards to the same question. I'll repeat it once again for those that are just not tuning in. We are talking about how to go full time as a content creator. And my first question to my co host and guest: how can creators determine the right time to go full time? Megan, we'd love to hear what you have to say, as well as if you have a question for the audience.
Awesome. Well, everything that you said, Kristen, 100%, and that there's multiple layers here to consider. It's not just financial, it has a lot to do with the mental load that you're able to take on, and, how how ready you feel with risk taking, because you're never really going to feel ready. Maybe you feel like I'm ready to leave this job, but it's scary living in this like uncertainty, because even if you have everything lined up of multiple streams of income, you have savings, and there's going to be bursts or bouts of time that you're like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? I need to go back to my secure job or career. And I've been doing this now for, gosh, six years full time, 7 years full time, and yeah, there's definitely times still where I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, I know I'm going to be fine, but it's scary. So I guess the mental load is a lot. And something you can do to kind of help with that is take like 3 months in your job and just save that money. See if your side hustle that you're working on as a creator is enough to pay your bills, enough for you to pay back into your business. Give yourself that test and see how it goes. But again, it's never going to be like a solid, steady flow of income. I myself was kind of just, I'm very impulsive. And I was just like, I'm ready. I'm done. I just got done before I had a savings to rely on, even. Like, I don't know. I would not advise doing that because it was scary, but everything worked out. But I definitely would suggest if you have like 3 to 6 months of savings, that's a pretty good safety net to be able to rely on. And then again, everything happens differently. There's different levels when you have a family to support or other responsibilities, right? It's everybody's going to be different.
Mm-hmm. I think there's also, to add on to that, maybe this is like a little harsh or kind of like a hard truth, but I also don't think that like everyone is necessarily cut out for it, because at the end of the day, like, you, even if you're running like a very successful business but you still have your 9 to 5, being your own boss is a very, very different scenario, because like no one is, going to be on you about like things you need to finish by a certain date. If you don't have systems put in place to organize and like run your business, you're not going to do it. Or even things like, like you have to go find like different health insurance. You can't have the same type of benefits. Like, there's so much stuff that you have to do as a full-time creator that maybe you don't really have to worry about when you have a W-2 job. So I think you also need to be someone who is ready to like take on these things that are probably gonna suck, to be honest. But like once you figure them out and like get into a flow, you're good. But I think it's worth noting that like it's very difficult in the beginning, even to just get yourself set up to literally be your own boss. I think that's like a term that's like really thrown around. Like, I want to be my own boss, but like, do you really know what that entails? Sometimes it's really hard, most of the time it is.
Oh, for sure. Because
I'm
with
so
that
glad that you
freedom,
said that.
yeah, that freedom
Go
really
ahead, Megan.
comes with responsibility. You can't have the
Yeah.
freedom unless you show up with the dedicated actions every day. And really understanding that you got to hold yourself accountable. You got to find, different buddies or groups, mentorship programs, whatever it might be for you, but you've got to find some type of um, connection with people who also understand what you're going through, right? It's
Yeah.
definitely not always the easiest, but when you love it, yeah, it's always worth it. So, and I'm curious, everybody, because we were talking about multiple streams of income, and if you are a full-time creator, or if you're not a full-time creator and you're doing it part-time, if you're online making money, let us know in the chat. Do you have more than one way you're making money? And that can even be, Instagram pays you for posting carousels or reels, plus selling digital products. It could be affiliate, it could be brand deals, it could be all kinds of coaching services, etc. Let us know in the chat if you have more than one or just one right now.
Yes, please go ahead and answer Megan's questions in regards to that. We want to know if you're utilizing the concept of monetization, diversifying and monetizing your content as a creator. Go ahead and comment. We'd love to see what you guys are sharing. James just commented valid points. Thank you very much, James. While you guys are commenting that, and I'll get to my answer in a moment, I want to just remind you guys what you guys are watching. This is the Social Roundtable, and today we are joined by Kristen, and we're discussing how to become a full-time content creator. And she shared something just now that's really important, because I don't think a lot of people understand what she's trying. What sometimes people are saying when we say become a full-time content creator, you are becoming your own boss, and some people that works well for, and some it may not. And you just have to deal with the reality that you might not be that person, but you have to at least consider the possibilities if you can be. Try it out. Don't just say no. Don't put limitations on yourself before you even take the chance on yourself. They always say the best bet that you can make is on yourself. So go ahead and at least try that first. As I get to my answer, I'm going to remind you guys there are links at the bottom of the screen if you want to join any one of our communities on Instagram and YouTube. We have both links for each one on the screen, as well as our moderator, IG Live with Angela. Also, if you're enjoying the conversation so far, please, we would definitely appreciate it if you could hit that like button. And if you want more conversation like this with myself and Megan every week, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any of our future episodes of the Social Roundtable. I saw a few people said I haven't seen any answers just yet in regards to Megan's question. Go ahead and put in any answers that you may have in regards to if you are using multiple forms of income on Instagram. Even if it's a no, go ahead. Please feel free to put no, put 0, put 5. If you got 20, I've heard somebody actually list out like they had 30 different forms of income on social media, and I'm just like, I need to get to that point. I need to figure out what I'm doing to get to that point. My answer, you guys kind of shared what to do. I'm going to share something in a different aspect. I want to share what not to do because I have come across this problem a few times from others. I do not want you to consider the idea of going full time and base it on your following. I think that is a big mistake that a lot of people are making because you're setting yourself up for a limitation before you even start. I've come across certain individuals that say, well, I don't have enough just yet, so I'm going to wait till I hit X amount, whether it's 1,000, whether it's 10,000. And I'm like, well, you probably are missing out on making some money before you even start. There are those that you are doing a disservice to because you're not offering your options, your content, whatever services you are providing. You're doing a disservice to them and to yourself because you want to wait on some form of vanity metric that you deem is the right number for whatever reason, that whether somebody influenced you to decide upon or whatever you've read, that you should wait until this point in time. And I want to share some more stats in regards to this because earlier I shared the stat that there are over 200 million content creators in the world, but explodingtopics.com actually broke that number down. And I want to share just the first two. 23 million of that 200 million are content creators that have less than 1,000 followers. 23 million. And the majority of that 200 million are 139 million that have 1 to 10,000 followers on their respective profiles, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, and others.
Wow.
What are we waiting for? Do not wait for you to reach some arbitrary number that it's deemed we should wait till this for us to start actually monetizing, become a content creator. Whether it's I'm talking more from a full-time content creator point. If you're able to monetize and do all of those things that Megan and Kristen just said, and you're able to find stability financially, you have some savings, but maybe you only have 500 followers and you think 1,000 is going to be the sweet spot. No, go ahead and jump, make that move. If everything else is right that we're discussing about prior to this, to what I'm saying now, and in our future conversation, if everything else is right, following, and I think in many ways, the following total just does not matter anymore, especially if you're going to be a content creator, because a lot of that money it doesn't work. Just because you have 500 followers doesn't mean that you're going to get $500. I know people with 1,000, 2,000 followers, and they're making a lot of money. They're doing very well for themselves, and you would think that they have 6-figure following. So don't use the following total as a basis on that.
I would add, don't use if you have a lot of followers as a sign to go full time or a sign to even start monetizing in multiple different ways if it doesn't feel right to you or if it just isn't aligned with your audience. Your following number really has nothing to do with your ability to go full time or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I even would say, like, I feel like I'm a good example of that. I have less than 30,000 followers and I do very well financially, right? Like I have my multiple streams of income and I don't really even pay much attention to follower count anymore because I'm like, if I grow, great, but if not, like I don't feel the need to have more than what I already have now. So definitely not paying attention to follower count, I think is a great idea.
Yes, absolutely. So I think you shared a few great points in regards to um, when is the right time for someone to consider to go full time, and using certain things to determine what that might factor into your life, whether it's financial stability, savings and income and your offerings, and even the idea of your audience, or not using that as something to base it on. So I hope that helps in regards to that question. But I do have a follow up question. For those that are watching on the live, if you have any questions, please go ahead and start putting them in the live chat now. We'll be able to find them as we get to our Q&A segment in a moment. Or maybe if you have something else interesting to share in regards to our conversation, I'll try to find them and shout you out. We are going to be going over to our to my next question, but we will be also having a little trivia game after that as well. So, Megan, I'm going to ask you this question first in regards to content creators going full time. In utilizing your own experience in regards to this. What's one thing that you wish you knew before going full time as a content creator?
Sure, there's a lot of things, but if I had to choose one, I guess kind of what I briefly mentioned, that it can get really lonely if you don't set yourself up to be in spaces with other creators, or if you personally are like the first one out of your friend group or family group, your close circle, to go off and do this type of work. Not only can it feel lonely, it can also feel like other people don't really support you and that you can feel very isolated. Even if you've been in it for a while and you have set yourself up to really be in like masterminds or group coaching programs, or maybe you've just connected with other people online who do similar work in your niche or similar niches, it still can feel lonely at times. And that's why it's so important to make yourself continue to be social on social media, and do your best to really hang out with people in person too. Okay, working from home and working for yourself, even if you have a team, they're not all there with you all the time, or sometimes never. So it's really important to still go out and actually be social and connect outside of social media, and know that you've got to find that boundary of when you're on creating and when you're off, because you don't want to go all in on either. You want to make sure that you have a balance, or else you're going to get burnt out and you're going to really feel like everyone needs you, everyone's contacting you all the time, but nobody's really connecting with you and you feel lonely. So finding the balance is so important.
Yeah. Megan,
In regards to that balance.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my answer as well. Is like I do feel like yes, it's very lonely at times, but I think it's also that like idea of like people don't understand. Like all my friends who have 9 to 5 jobs and don't really understand what I'm doing, like maybe don't understand why I'm like always working, or like why I have to like, oh, hold on, I need to just like check something on my phone, or there's definitely a little bit of a disconnect. So I just second all of that. I would say, as like a second answer to that question, I wish that I had like spent more time celebrating like wins as they were happening as I was growing my business. Even when I wasn't full time, I think when we think about like growth of our page, or growth of our business, or our revenue, or whatever it might be, it's like, yay, I got there, okay, on to the next, and like you don't really take time to be like, wow, that was like really awesome that I did that, and I'm proud of myself. I This is something I've been trying to practice like a lot more. Last week I did a panel with like a brand I've really been wanting to work with. There was a huge creator on it that like I've looked up to for my whole career. And I was like, this is crazy that like I'm in this opportunity. And normally that would have been the type of thing where I'd been like, yep, it's like a panel. I do them all the time. Like, this is, cool that it happened. Okay, but like, what are we doing next? And I really made sure that last week I was like, I sat down and was like, no, like, let's go get a little treat. Like, I need to really celebrate that I did this, and like prove that like I'm, like taking that in and like actually showing myself that I'm like proud and that I have accomplished things, because I think it's very easy to just think about what's going to happen next, because again, like we're the only, when you're full time, like you're the only one worrying about like the trajectory of your business, like what's happening next, that you don't take time to soak that stuff in a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's interesting to say that, hear you say that, because you were looking at somebody you admire, and in a way, sometimes it's so easy to say, "Oh, that person could be a competitor," but
Mm-hmm.
that person, you've now shifted into this position in this industry where that person is now a peer, and we now are putting ourselves in that position. But you would have never got there if you didn't make that leap into this world of content creation. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's something that we have to realize. It opens up a lot of doors. There's a lot of opportunity in regards to becoming a content creator. It's not easy. I mean, we've heard that term before. I quit my 9 to 5 to work full 24/7. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
in a way, that's what it's become. But I have to say, it's always been more fulfilling for me to know that not only am I my own boss, but I am the result of the actions that,
Yeah.
whether good or for bad, it's all on my shoulders. I don't have anybody else to blame, and I know what I'm capable of. And sometimes I can push myself further to see what I'm capable of in a whole other aspect, and I learn new things. When you step out of that comfort box, you really learn more about yourself, and you're not able to do that at the traditional 9 to 5 all the time. So,
Sure.
these are all great benefits in regards to becoming a full-time content creator. But sometimes you do learn a little bit of these mistakes that we wish we knew earlier. In regards to that same aspect, I want to share something. I was going to say something that's very close to that, but I'm going to shift my answer a little bit. Um, I'm going to say, what I wish I knew earlier was to not chase the lure of a following on a specific platform. I think that's how I could best kind of phrase it. And what I mean by that specifically is, all three of us, we would probably say that Instagram is is our currently most active social media platform. But if I honestly had to say, if I had to do it over again, I wouldn't choose Instagram as my primary channel. It would have actually been YouTube. And the reason for that is I feel that YouTube is more respectful, and um, they just more favor the actual creator. There's a lot more tools, there's a lot more features. There's also a lot more monetization opportunities on YouTube. And if I had fully understood that from the beginning, despite how hard YouTube is to grow on, because it is very hard to grow on YouTube, but as we kind of stated, sometimes it's not always based on followers and subscriber total. I've seen people with less than 500 subscribers on YouTube, and they're making more money than I've made at my 9 to 5. You have to figure out how to work the game. And the best way to do that initially is to know which game you are playing. Are you going to be playing game on this platform, on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube? And looking back at it now, something that I know every YouTuber says, I don't care who they are. It could be MKBHD, one of the most successful YouTubers, to somebody who just started yesterday. They all say the same thing. I wish I started on YouTube earlier. And that is something I've never felt so strong. Almost every day that I'm pushing out on YouTube, it's just like it's something that just continues to grow with me. I'm like, I really wish I started earlier, but I can't go back in time, and I could just help those that are in my position back then make the right decision now. So I hope that you guys that are listening, if you're considering, which ones to go and figure out and become your primary channel, I would say to strongly look at YouTube. Go ahead and look at all of them, but don't be caught up in the hype because there's one social media platform that's stealing all the attention right now. And I think right now it's probably between TikTok and Instagram. It gets heavy attention, maybe because it's just short form video and it's such an easy way to get in. It's very low barrier entry. But just because it's low barrier entry doesn't mean it's necessarily the best for you. So weigh your options in regards to the platforms and figure out as a creator which one will best serve you.
Yes, that's a very valid point. Understanding that each platform is going to be suited for different purposes, different creators, what you're good at, what you like doing, what you're like, where your audience is. And I think regardless of whether or not you choose to start sooner than you thought on a specific platform, like Heston was saying with YouTube, whatever it is that you're waiting to do, start now. There is no perfect time. Start before you're ready and get messy and learn along the way, because no matter what, you're never going to feel ready. And the best way to learn is by doing, taking that messy action.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Did you want to add anything else to that, Christian, before we jump into our trivia game?
I definitely second everything that you guys shared here. Actually, even today, like my Instagram post is about that. Like, just putting the content out, even if you don't feel like it's perfect, you don't have to wait for the right moment or the perfect video. It's a lot of the times the type of stuff that we don't expect to, really blow us up that is actually what ends up doing it. So I would definitely suggest just ripping the band-aid off. Again, whatever platform you're gonna be using, even testing all of them out. I do think it's worth it because you just simply never know what's going to end up being the thing that changes everything for you and helps you build a business.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I think we shared so much information in regards to the idea of becoming a content creator full time. Listen, as Kristen even said from the beginning, this might not be for everybody. But I think a lot of the things that we shared here today would at least put you on the path of discovering if this is the right decision for you or not. And when is most likely that best time to make that jump? I think the idea of becoming a full time content creator is even more spread and popular than ever before. But you want to make sure that you're doing it at the right time and when it's best for you, and doing it under the right circumstances that would help you become a content creator better and bigger than if you were to start without some of these lessons that we shared here today. So, with all that being said, I hope that you guys take a lot of what we said here today, take it down, take notes, go over it, replay this video if you have to, and move forward and step your gram up in the best way possible. But not just step your gram up, do it on any platform. All right. We're going to move over to our trivia game right now. Megan is going to lead us in a quick game. There's no right or wrong answer. She's going to take it away with you guys. We're going to play on the screen. I have not seen the questions, um, but we're going to play. Kristen, we're going to give our answers, as well as you in the audience in the live chat. If you're watching the replay, please feel free to even comment your answer. We would love to know what you guys think about some of these questions that Megan has in store for us. Kristen looks like she's already ready. Like she looks like she wants to win a trophy for this.
We should have trophies for our guests.
All right, Megan,
I'm
it's all yours.
awesome. Excited for our game today. We're actually going to go back to our OG game that we played, 3 years ago when we started this show. And it's called One's Got to Go. So I'm going to give you 3 options and then choose A, B, or C. If you had to choose, which one has got to go? Okay. The first one here, one's got to go. Is it either A, being able to do brand deals, B, being able to share affiliate links, or C, being able to sell digital products? Kristen, we'll go with you first.
That was an easy one for me. I would say B for sure. I think affiliate for me personally is like so at the bottom of my priority list. I think it takes a lot of effort for sometimes not a large return. And so I would personally rather put my time and energy into things that I'm pretty confident are going to make me money versus affiliates. We just never know what's going to happen. So that would definitely be my answer.
Yes, very, very good point there. Heston, what would you say?
Initially hearing his answers, I thought it was gonna be a tough question, but the way Kristen just broke it down, I have to agree with her. Affiliate is probably out of all 3 of those the least in control or most unexpected results that you can find. And I'm not saying don't do affiliate links, but I think the other options are much more vital to you as a content creator in regards to making money. So I gotta go with B.
Awesome, awesome. I see Laura has also said B in the comments there. Thank you for playing along. I know I'm pretty torn as well here, but I think I'm actually going to say C, sell digital products, which is weird because I have a lot of digital products and I've done them for a long time and I do love doing them, but I was just at the point where I get excited to talk about other things a lot more lately. So I don't know. It comes and goes, but your points about, what's actually going to make the most money, you are spot on. Unless you really have this successful blog or very niched audience, it can be very hard to make good, consistent money with affiliate. And James says B as well, but I have any of them. I don't have any of them. I think is, which is totally fine. That's A. You're on your journey there to get some, and whatever it is that you choose to do, time will, once you take those steps, will all work out. So next question here. Thank you everyone for that one. One's got to go. Is it going to be A, the ability to share entertaining content, B, the ability to share educational content, or C, the ability to share promotional content? Kristen.
Oh. Oh.
Hard one.
You always got to sneak in that one question that's like choosing a child, don't you?
I know.
Yeah, that's a really tough one for me because I think it would depend on like different scenarios. Because for me, entertaining content, like funnier stuff, or like when I get my dogs or my husband involved, is always like my top performing content. So in terms of performance, I might keep that. Educational content is like my bread and butter, so I couldn't get rid of that. And then promotional content would make it so I wouldn't be able to like monetize.
I know.
So how are you supposed to choose? I need them all. I guess if I had to choose, I'd probably choose entertaining, but I would just really hope I wasn't in a situation where I had to make that choice.
I love the note there. Yeah, it's a really hard one, I know. So and really good content does it all. So I feel you on that. Heston, what would you say?
First off, we got to double down on what you just said. Oh, that I just realized I haven't had my mic here for the whole time. Have you guys been hearing me?
I didn't even hear
like
you.
louder now. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, big mistake. I gotta go. This might sound weird. I'm gonna go with promotion. I'm gonna go with promotion because I'm thinking about it from Instagram's point of view. If we're using Instagram to refer to this type of content, it's very hard to promote and sell on Instagram. I strongly believe the best way to promote and sell is off of Instagram in the email. So with that in mind, I'm gonna say I'm gonna keep the others and get rid of the promotion because I'm gonna be aiming to sell and promote via those other channels. Email.
Mm. Little roundabout way there. Sneaky.
I know, but then does promotion count like you getting people over to your newsletter?
I mean, yeah, technically, you're right.
We need the disclaimers on
Why are
all.
you trying to get me, Kristen? Why are you trying to get me?
Because this is a hard question. There's no right answer.
I know. No, it really is. Because it really breaks down, that monetization, income, your like enjoyment creating, and the value you're producing or giving to your people. There's lots, but you guys, I love the variation there. Also, see, James and Laura both say C in the comments there, and by no means, James, is there an error in your approach because everyone's got different answers based on where they're at and what you enjoy doing, right? What you actually are here creating. So I'm it's hard for me, but I think I would say entertaining, even though that's really my favorite. It's like the most fun to do, but entertaining for sure.
Awesome. Well, we definitely, I just had to shout out my people who said see with me in the live chat. Thank you very much. I was feeling a little bit lonely, but thank you. Yeah, that's a hard question. There's no right or wrong answer, but it's a hard question. Thank you very much for those questions, Megan. We like to play these games with you guys, our guests, and we hope you guys enjoyed that. Hey, once again, just a quick reminder, you are watching the Social Roundtable. This is a weekly live series for myself and Megan. We host this all the time on Mondays, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to talk about the topics that are most important to you: social media, content creation, digital marketing, and more. And we bring in special guests like we have today, Kristen, joining us to discuss how to become a full-time content creator. If you are looking for more information from any one of us, including our moderator, Angela, the link is in the description right now. So you can go ahead and check that out at the bottom. And please go ahead, check out our channels on YouTube, on Instagram, as well as this very channel that you are watching. Hit the like button if you got any value from this conversation that we had all about becoming a full-time content creator. And if you are not a subscriber yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any other future episodes. I don't see any questions in the live chat, but I did save a couple from our previous one. So I'll choose two questions if you guys don't mind before we end this live. These questions came to us much earlier in the year, but we're getting to them now, Kristen. So it's been a hectic year. One question is from the Adore Real Ox. Not sure if I said that right. How many videos a content creator should post in a month? I'm going to go to you first, Kristen, in regards to this. I'm going to repeat the question one more time. How many videos should a content creator post in a month?
Well, I don't think there is a perfect magic formula here. I think that's probably a big common misconception. The only solid evidence we've really ever gotten as of recently, there was something that came out. I think Adam Masseri shared it, where they said 10 videos minimum per month were like ideal for people who want to get discovered or have like more reach. But outside of that, I think it's really just about what's sustainable for you. You don't have to post every day by any means. I would say most of us probably don't. I have a schedule where just Monday through Friday around noon is when I post, and that's pretty much what you can expect from me. You usually never see me on the weekend. And I've gotten to the point where just like my audience knows when to expect content from me. So I think if you can find a schedule that works for you and stick to it, that's best case scenario. But I don't think there's really a right or wrong answer here.
How about you in regards to this, Megan?
Totally agree. No right or wrong answer. I will add a lot of people, have that quantity versus quality battle there. But the truth is, the more you show up, the better you get at creating, as long as you can, be your own critic and really take your analytics into consideration and allow yourself to learn along the way. I mean, yeah, if you have that bandwidth and that time availability and you're willing to continue to get better at your content while you're creating it, the more you show up, the better. So you got to kind of get messy and learn as you're creating.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to say the answer is 36 and one third. That's how many videos you should be creating.
Exactly.
Specifically.
No, I'm just joking. I completely agree
Is
with
that
Kristen and
one
Megan in regards to
third?
this.
Is the 1/3 a glitch on Instagram's part?
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Because posting that many videos, you're definitely going to wind up with at least one form of glitch. No, I definitely agree with you both in regards to there's no set number. Go with your own cadence of how much you can put out. I don't truly believe in the idea of more is better. I actually believe less is best. But if you can find that rhythm in a way that works best for you, work with that. And then, improve however you see fit. Whether that means more videos or less, that's up to you. Our last question in regards to this question that we got from our broadcast channel. This one comes from og.g.xx. Do you have any tips or strategies for increasing engagement to my profile? That's a really interesting question in regards to getting more people to view their profile. It's not something that we usually hear a lot of, but it is something that's very key because we want to make sure that if people are coming to our profile, that they are converting. So I'm going to go to you first, Megan, in regards to this as I read the question once more for those that are watching. Do you have any tips or strategies for increasing engagement to my profile?
So regardless of if this is on your Instagram stories or in your reels or your carousels, your single posts, captions, whatever, if you actually are telling people to go to your profile to see something else, so maybe you are talking about something where you go deeper into this on your stories, so then they have to go to your profile, and that was from a post, so then they click your stories. Or maybe you're in your stories and you tell them to go to your profile to see a highlight that you made or a post that you made, some form of connection or call to action to really get them to go there. You also could, maybe I'm going to steal your answer here, Heston, so I'm sorry. You could use DM automation where, when they engage, getting them to go to your profile for some reason, but making sure that you're actually asking them to do so.
Mhm. Yeah,
You
Megan.
good? That wasn't my answer.
Okay. Megan, I definitely agree with that. I think that's one of the best ways to do it. I'll give you a different answer, more specific to people who don't yet follow you. I think when you are creating content that the whole point of it is growth, I would make sure that you are creating content that is going to be easily understandable and relevant to people who don't follow you. So, for example, if I am sharing a video and I'm like, oh, yeah, you guys know my dog River and how she did this that one time, but today we're doing this, it's like people who don't know you, have never seen your profile, are not going to understand or relate. So, sharing kind of like very base level content that for someone who does not know anything about you, they're going to be able to get the foundation of who you are and what you are selling or sharing. I think is going to be very helpful for them to go, oh wow, like maybe I should look at their profile and hopefully follow while they're there. But sometimes you either have to give like that little maybe one sentence intro in there, or you just need to give it to them where there's not like inside jokes in it, like it's more just like content that's going to be relevant to literally anyone that might see it.
Yeah, I think that's really a great perspective that a lot of people don't really think about sometimes in regards to getting people to their profile. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't steal my answer, Megan, but I appreciate that shout out. If anybody's interested in DM automation, holla at your boy. But no, my answer, I think a lot of people sometimes forget about this. Um, Lead them to your Instagram off of Instagram. Like, we have email, we have threads. I love threads. Sometimes
Threads.
I'm like, hey, yo, if you guys want more from me, find me on threads because I post on my stories. Some of the stuff I'm able to go deeper into my broadcast channel. Find me on threads. I'm sorry, find me on Instagram and I'll put my Instagram link, goes directly to there. Or sometimes I'll get really smart and I'll share a carousel on threads. And it shows you the whole carousel. And when they click on the image, there's a little link that says open it up on Instagram and it can lead
Mm.
them to my profile. So I would say think outside of the box by thinking outside of Instagram and discover ways that you could take people from other platforms and other channels to Instagram. Even if it's a QR code, like a QR code is something that's pretty simple and quick. And I'll even show an example of that in a few, but um, that will work perfectly to me. Take them to your profile.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, that is it from us here on the Social Roundtable, all about our topic today of how to become a full time content creator. And we shared a lot of tips here today. We are so thankful for Kristen to join us today. I want to give you a moment to share with the audience where they'll be able to find you. What are you up to? If there's anything that you want to quickly plug, please feel free to do that as we have you here. This is your audience, this is your time, and this is your topic. I go to you sometimes in regards to some of these things as well. So please feel free to let the people know where they can find you for more.
Yeah, thank you guys, first of all, so much for having me again. I always love coming here and hanging out. I am always up to just really bettering my membership and continuing to grow my membership, Social Suite. It is a community with about 160 creators who are basically all each other's best friends. What's really nice is that everyone has built such strong community in there, like how we were talking a lot today about loneliness and how maybe you need that kind of sounding board or people who get it. This is the place where everyone gets it. We even every week we have calls that we call date night, where we all just get on, and it's kind of like when you get together with all your friends at dinner and you just like spill the tea. That is what date night looks like every week, but exclusively with other creators. So that is my membership. It's called Social Suite. Obviously, Heston has my Instagram up here. That would be the best place to reach me. And pretty much once you go on Instagram, you can find me all of the other places from there. So I'll make it easy for you and say, just go find me on Instagram. Send me a DM, say hi. I am always looking to make new friends. So thank you guys again for having me.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us once again. This would not be the last that we have you on the Social Roundtable. Definitely want to make sure I put that out there. We'll definitely like to have you join us again. And once again, guys, if you are interested to learn more from Kristen, you want to jump on and get to our Instagram and YouTube channel, the link is in the description right now, as well as the link to a certain other person's YouTube channel and Instagram as well, Megan. Megan, please let the people know where they can find you as well.
Yes, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kristen, for being here, and everybody in the chat, watching live and on the replay. We appreciate you. We see you. Thank you so much. Um, I I feel like I have to add this real quick before I even say my closing here is if you are a creator and you don't want to be full time, that's okay too. I know we're here talking about how to, but like there's a lot of pressure for everyone to be full time, or maybe you look at somebody who's not full time and see them as different, and it's just not true. Every creator is equally as important, and it's really about how you're showing up and what you're doing to support your community. So don't feel like it's necessary, because whatever is best for you and your life is what's most important. So quick little note there. But you guys can find me, yes, here on YouTube, Threads, Instagrams, where I hang out the most. So come over there and say hi in my DMs, and stay up to date with everything in my stories.
Awesome. Look out for both of them in the links. The links are in the description right now, as well as thank you very much to Angela. She was very active
Yes.
in the channel. I see her. Thank you for all of those that were able to join in. Sorry, Greg, I just saw your comment. No worries. You'll catch us next time or the replay. For those that are watching the replay, we appreciate you. Please go ahead and comment as well some of the questions that we shared today. If you're interested to learn more about myself, social.varsity on Instagram, social varsity on Threads, and this very channel that you're watching right now, YouTube. Please subscribe for more. I look forward to having you join my community as well. And thank you guys. Until the next time, we are going to be here on Monday. I don't even remember the topic, but I'm sure it's a good one. And we're going to have another guest as well. So every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you guys will be able to join us on the Social Roundtable. Thank you guys again for joining us, and we appreciate you for tuning in. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you guys.
See
Bye,
ya.
everyone.
Thank